A few weeks ago I mentioned that I didn't pick up the Armageddon box just because there weren't enough minis in there I cared about. There was like 2 maybe, and we've already painted up one of them a few weeks back, the Ancient. So today we've got the second one, the Captain with Relic Shield. Look at this dude, absolutely incredible. Loads of character, standing on a big rock and the Relic Shield. It looks absolutely awesome, and he will look even better as a Black Templar if I stop dropping him. It's fine. And here he is, the Armageddon Captain with Relic Shield and a couple of little pieces of sub-assembly. Only 4 this time, not quite as crazy as my last video with High Marshal Helbrick. Just got the body, the shield, the backpack and the cloak, just so we can get into little sections and whatnot. Just primed him up in Ghoul Grey by the Colour Forge. Just a nice mid-tone grey primer, nothing fancy. It would just be a nice base for our Black Templar recipes of blacks and whites and golds, but we'll get into each colour when we get to it. And speaking of the paint job, we're going to start off with the shield, just because, I mean, it's the coolest part. Like, it's really, really cool. I've only painted 3 of them before. I did 3 Blade Guard veterans, one of which I did on an aeroplane while flying to and from Las Vegas. So it'd be cool to get another Relic Shield under my belt and paint them up again. I really, really enjoy them. They're super cool, especially with what we're doing, because so we've got the Templars that are going to be nice and black with armour, dark and heavy, and I like painting the Relic Shield to be this big white beacon on the front of it. It's a really cool contrast just to have this massive white shield, which is what we're doing now. We've got Corax White on the brush, so we're just going to put a base coat of Corax White on all of the front of the shield, try and get in the nooks and crannies. And then we'll also grab some silver for the skulls. There's skull in the middle and the little bits there, and then the trim will be gold. And then once we've done that, we've got the 3 sort of main colours down, we can start doing some really cool fancy stuff. And that's everything for the silver, the white and the gold, and then like you've just seen, that really nice recess shade that just makes it a little bit, it just adds a nice depth to it, you know, it fills in those gaps, doesn't make it as flat, makes it feel more alive. I really like it. But what I will say is I've been a little bit messy with it, so I'm just going to tidy up some of that just here, reapply some of that Corax White just to control some of it, because yeah, all in there is awful. But after I've done this and tidied up the white, what I'll probably do is put some shades and washes on the gold and the silver. So I guess we'll do Nuln Oil over all of the silver, Riekland Fleshshade over the gold, makes a nice rich red colour, and then we can start highlighting things. There are some purity seals on here and some bolts, they'll be silver. The purity seals will be like some form of Wraithbone and Seraphim Sepia, Agrax Earthsahde, just some kind of wash, but we'll get onto them at the end. Oh, look at that, it's looking really good. Super happy with how that's turned out. All of the silvers, golds and the whites looking really, really nice. Just going to do what I mentioned, slap some Wraithbone on all of these parchments. So there's 3 purity seals, which in my opinion is never enough. The more purity seals, the better. And then there's also this like sash across the front down here. This will be the same, Wraithbone, but what we'll do is we'll put a different wash on it just to differentiate it. So the purity seals, they're going to have Agrax Earthsahde on them, a little bit watered down, a little bit thinned out, and then this sash on the front will have Seraphim Sepia, just to, yeah, make it look a little bit different so it's not just a blob of the same colour. Then we'll slap some silver on the back of this and move on to the cloak next, because this will all be done. Alright, that's everything for the shield done, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. I don't think I could be happier with this. I might come back to it at the end and add some effects on the bottom, like some mud or blood or something. I'm not sure. We'll see how we get on. But we've just done that and also applied the first base coat to the cloak. And you might be thinking, why is that so bright? How are you going to highlight that? Well, someone on my last video left a comment, Alex Bolton 1, and they said that when they're, well, actually, to be fair, I'm just reading the comment now. He said with the glazing of the grey, he finds it easier to layer the grey and glaze back down to black. And I thought, I'm going to be honest, actually, I misread that comment at first and thought he just meant glazing in general. So my plan with this is to start with the brightest colour, and then we're going to glaze some Mephiston Red. So we've got it just here, literally, like, look at that, it's like water. And I want to glaze down from bright red to a darker red. So we're going to start with the Mephiston, then Khorne in the recesses. So I thought I'd give that a try, because I always bang on about trying new things and giving everything a try. So what we'll do, like, there we go. So we've got the thinnest coat of Mephiston Red. And what we'll do is apply this into the recesses. I don't even know, you can kind of see it on camera. It's so thin it just doesn't even come up or register. So what we're going to do is just glaze this by putting loads and loads of thin coats over to try and build up some nice transitions of like a dark red. And there is the finished cape, and you know what, I'm well impressed with this. Obviously it's not the best cape, but I do think we're definitely getting somewhere with our glazing. And I will say, the whole starting on the brightest colour, and then like highlighting down into the recesses, I was a big fan, you know, I really liked it, and I think I might do it going forward. So shout out to Alex Bolton 1 for suggesting that. Also done the inside of that Rakarth Flesh, Pallid Wych Flesh, and then the 50-50 mix in between. Yeah, looking really good. But as you can see, it's finally time to do the armour. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to put down a coat of Abaddon Black, and then we're going to cheekily switch to the sort of the desk view, the look at me, the face cam, and then we'll talk about what we're going to do for the armour, because I've actually want to try something really interesting and cool that I keep seeing on Instagram everywhere. I feel right, and here we are behind the scenes. Look at this, a little sneak peek at my hobby desk and all of its, I won't say glory, because there's nothing glorious about it. It's covered in like coffee mugs and like paint pots and paint marks everywhere. But there is a reason we're in this view. It's because I want to try out something I think I see on Instagram like every day. I must see this same post every single time I open up the app. And that is, if you want to get, so people post, an easy way to see the highlights on a Mini is if you actually take the Mini itself, grab the big light, and point it directly at it and take a picture. You can kind of see where the actual real light reflects on the armour, like little sections, like I guess for this guy it'd be on his round knee, the top will have a little bit of real light reflecting on it, and then you can take that picture as a reference and just put the highlights where you see them. So I really want to try that. I've got my big painting light here we can use as our light source. I've got the Mini, all the armour's done in Abaddon Black like you just saw, and I've blue tacked on the shield, the cape, the backpack, just so you can actually, we can emulate the real lighting situations, because if I didn't, some of the sections would get more light than they should for the end product. Right, I guess I can always put some pictures up here because I'm just going to look at it on my phone. So rather than me hold it to the camera, I can just put a picture up there and, okay, I can kind of see what people talk about. There's some nice like highlights on, oh yeah. Some sections I think are better than others. I do think maybe because there's so much on his waist and his shins, it's kind of hard to see. But on those two like spherical knee sections, there's some real nice highlights at the top that we can sort of spray. On the bottom of his shins, those bits just above the foot, and on the front of the foot actually. Yeah, and then a little bit on like his wrist guard. Okay, seems pretty interesting. Okay, well it's kind of cool to have some reference pictures. I don't know if this is any more than I would have just known to do anyway. These are probably the places I would have put the highlights anyway. But what we can do is we can go down to the table, or plug in the airbrush, and then try and recreate some of these shadows. Oh dear, this was a little bit of a car crash. Oh, so there's some sections where it's okay, like round here it's a little bit darker, and down there, then as you come round it's like the light's kind of hitting this section. And again on the hand it's like where here the light would catch, and like on this side it's kind of like a little bit bright. There's none on the fingers, which is a shame. Then on top it's a little bit darker. There's some nice like transitions in some sections. I do quite like this front bit here on the shoulder pad, and as you get around to the back, it's kind of dark. We've gone way too hard on some stuff, like this chest is just so bright. The first layer of Dark Reaper and even Thunderhawk was probably fine, and then once we started blasting the Fenrisian Grey, that it's hard to get the control of like the tiny sections. When it's like big swaths of highlights, it's not too bad. But I actually think it's a good thing, because one thing I really like doing with my Black Templars is I really like the look of Nuln Oil over the top of like black armour. And I was thinking, is that going to ruin, if I make like real nice airbrush highlights and I want to put Nuln Oil on it to darken the black recesses, because it looks really nice in like the recesses down here on the knee and in like the shins and whatnot, is it going to ruin that? But luckily we've gone way too hard and it's way too bright, so I'm not worried about ruining it because it's already a little bit OTT. So what we can do now is just put a layer of Nuln Oil over the top, darken down some of those recesses, give it a nice oily, metallic, industrial feel, and see if it darkens down some of these highlights. Okay, maybe. I guess we won't really know until we put on all the details, but that's what we can do next, can't we? We can just start... Oh, I forgot to show you the backpack as well, sorry, just quickly. Pretty much the same, went way too hard. Although I think the backpack is a little bit more forgiving because it's like on top of the back, the highest sections I'd be getting the most light. Yeah, but it's okay. We'll do the same. I'll put some Nuln Oil on that in a sec. But next up we can do some details. So I guess I might as well start on all of this stuff on the belt. And there's some decent progress done on the front. But I really wanted to, and I think I've done it quite well, differentiate the two leathers. So we've got those like tassels kind of hanging down. I wanted them to be like a hard, really tough leather, but then also the sword hilt to be another leather, but like a bit brighter for like a cover. So like they're the same material, but a little bit different. And it's quite nice. I really, really like mixing in like reds and browns to make like a deep red kind of browny leather colour. I love it. I did it on the Castellan I painted a while back, and I don't know why I've not done it more, just because it's so cool. Like it's really nice, like a dark, deep red, rich colour. All that's left now for the front, bottom half. We'll do gold on this like front insignia. I'll probably leave that out of the video because you just watched me paint gold. I want to do a nice little red gem in the middle there. That'd be quite cool, nice and reflective. Well, if nothing else, there is one thing on this mini that does look absolutely incredible, so we can call it a success, and that is that gem. Look, oh, there we go. Look at that in the middle. How good does that look? Oh, it's really, really nice. I'm well chuffed with that. So no matter what happens with this project, even if the rest of it is a complete car crash, and this armor turns out being terrible, which I don't think it is going to be fair. I think it is shaping up quite nice, but it will definitely leave room for improvement. But if all else fails, that gem is so nice. It's my favourite part of this project already. So even if everything else is terrible, at least we've got that going for us. I absolutely love it. What we can do now is put some white on this rope across his chest. It's pretty much one of the only details left to do. We've done everything down here, looking great. Oh, I'm lying to you. I forgot about this purity seal. Kind of blended in with everything else. But yeah, once we've done this Aquila, we can then put some nice white on this rope. Maybe paint in these shoulders white and then do some sort of crest. And to be honest, all that's left will be the sword. I think we might almost be done, you know. Let's just move these little spoilers out the way. So that's all the details on the torso, the shield, the cloak. This midsection is looking lovely. I really, really like this. Just done the tilt shield. Again, just white and red. I kind of use that on all of my Templar Crusade badges. Speaking of all of my Templars, one thing left on this dude is the sword, and if you've watched the channel before, you know exactly what's coming, but I like to do this sort of like molten hot burning effect on all of my swords on my Templar. It's like a cool like stamp, like hobby homeworld stamp on my army, a nice unique thing. Normally I do it with a paintbrush. I layer up, basically we put down Mephiston Red, then layer up loads of Troll Slayer orange, like glazing it on, then mix in some yellows and stuff, and it makes this nice sort of like red, orange, yellow effect. I did it with an airbrush last time and it is a lot smoother and quite good, but if I'm being completely honest, I can't be asked getting the airbrush out again and setting it up and then like covering, because I'd have to put this whole mini in like a bag and poke the sword through and whatnot. So I just fancy kind of glazing up a whole bunch of colours. We've done a lot of glazing in this video and it's something I want to keep working on and learn, and I do enjoy it, so we're going to do it with a brush. Like I mentioned, put down a layer of Mephiston Red, take some Troll Slayer orange, I've got some somewhere. Yeah, there we go, like a really thin, glaze this on and then start mixing in some yellows and make this nice transition between red, orange and then a bit of yellow. And here he is, our Black Templar Armageddon Captain, and I'm well chuffed with this model, man. The mini itself, the sculpt is incredible. And I think the paint job is pretty decent as well, you know. I've got a couple of issues that we'll get into, but overall, I'm really happy with this. I guess if we start with the head and the sword, because we've just done those, we'll start on the head, just because I don't have to move the mini. Because I'm gonna have to take him off the base to look at the sword. I'm well chuffed with this head, you know. It looks really, really cool. One different thing I did this time was I looked at a Eons of Battle video where he painted this exact same head and he put down a pinky purple colour beforehand, and I think that's worked really well. It really makes like the Kislev Flesh just look a bit nicer. Those scars and some of those recesses have got like a nice dark purpley sort of vibe. I'm really, really happy with it, you know. So really happy with that. Not massively happy with the sword if we just adjust the camera. Yeah, you can tell that it's been a while since I've done this effect with a brush. Like, it's not really clean. It's probably not my best version of it. I think in the future what I might do is just go back to using the airbrush and just try and work on it with that tool, just because I think it does get a better look overall. Just need to keep working on it. But it's okay, it kind of gets the effect. Plus, I guess when you're looking at it head on, you can barely see it, so it's fine. But no, as for everything else, I absolutely love this mini. It's so cool. Like, all the details on the torso, from the chest or the neck down, I love. It's so cool. The tilt shield's a bit whatever, a little bit messy. I think I could have done a different pattern, maybe like a yellow or black to add more colour, because there's a lot of red and white on this mini, which is one of my minor criticisms. But everything else, like I love the white tassels. I love all of these like dark leather bits down here, and then that gem in the middle of his belt is just, oh, chef's kiss. I'm so happy with how it's come out. Like, if you zoom in like this, like hyper zoom, you do kind of see some of the imperfections. But from like a tabletop standpoint, like all the way back here, I mean, to be fair, it'd be even further back. It'd be like all the way like that. It looks really, really cool, and I'm super happy. And then I guess the armor itself is looking pretty good, you know? Some nice little highlights. I think we went a little bit too hard. Like we mentioned when we were doing it, it went a bit everywhere and a bit crazy. So there's not as many shadows as I'd like. But I guess if you kind of like rotate around the back and see how dark the back of the leg is there, yeah. It'd be nice if we could have some shadows, like in here maybe, or underneath. Maybe if we tone back how aggressive we went with the airbrush. But this is the first time I've ever done like volumetric airbrushy highlights. I normally just do edge highlight or sponging, and I think it's quite cool for the first time, you know. I'm really, really keen to keep working on it and get some like really cool highlights looking. So, just quickly actually, on the armor, I thought I'd grab the Ancient we did like 2 or 3 weeks ago, just to compare the two, because this was all edge highlighting. This was like a Black Templar contrast base, and then we dry brushed and then edge highlighted, sorry. And this was just pure airbrush blasting with a little bit of edge highlights, and I didn't realise how different this mini was compared to my traditional like Black Templar stuff until I put them next to each other. Like, it's so much darker compared to the other dude. It's so much lighter even compared to this dude. It's crazy. But yeah, just looking at the two of them side by side, this feels, I don't know, like quite dynamic and quite cool. Like, I don't know, I can't put it into words. Maybe someone try and leave it in the comments and tell me what I'm trying to get at. But I don't know, just the armor on it seems really, really cool. Like, all these sort of transitions between the two colours seem a little bit softer. Not so much around the back there, because all of the highlights are being covered. I definitely want to keep working on this sort of like highlighting scheme with the airbrush. It does really nice. I think if we can get some good shadows in there, it'll look even better. So maybe that's the next plan going forward. But yeah, I just thought it'd be cool to look at the two next to each other. Like, it's crazy. I didn't realise how different they were. There we go. Armageddon is complete. The only 2 models we cared about, we're done. There isn't really anything else in the box. Although I say that, to be fair, I did see some Black Templar Vanguard veterans with the jump packs, and I saw a video on Implausible Nature, the Black Templar like channel. They were talking about one of the new detachments with the Vanguard veterans and like having them in with a chaplain and a Black Templar list, and I was like, oh, that does sound quite cool. But I've got enough to paint. I've got so much to get through. I think we've got the Blade Guard Ancient coming up as well. I've got that on the shelf, actually. It's just here. Yeah, this dude. He's got a place in my army. He's actually going to be with the Captain we've just done. I want a brick of 6 Blade Guard veterans, the Captain and the Blade Guard Ancient as like a cool brick for my Vindication Task Force army. So this boy will be coming up soon. But yeah, I'm pretty done with the Armageddon box. Those were the only 2 minis I really wanted. I do quite like the Vanguard veterans. Maybe this video gets like something ridiculous, like 10,000 views or something. Maybe I'll buy them then. But I think we're pretty good for Armageddon, and we're going to be working through the stuff we've got. But as always, thank you for watching the video, and thank you to everybody who supports the channel on Patreon, like these guys. There's a link in the description. There's also a Discord link that's completely free to join. come and chat about the hobby and show me the things you paint. It's really, really cool. I love seeing them. But as always, thanks for watching and tune in next time.